Saturday and it's a bit late. It's gonna be a little late upload, but we're gonna just work with what we've got and be resourceful, right? So starting in a hero's pose, if that feels comfortable for you, and always use my voice as a guide, but you know your body best. So by all means, if something doesn't click for you right now and doesn't go in the direction that feels good and safe and healthy, then back out of it. We want to stick with things that we are in full alignment with. So just a little heads up before we start doing any kind of movement. It's so important to listen to yourself. So just as a reminder. So we'll start in hero's pose with the hands resting on the knees. If this feels comfortable for you, and on the back of our yoga mat, by all means, if you don't have a yoga mat, I think carpet works fine also. Just something that will be supportive for your joints, will do you wonders in the long term. So finding a nice, comfortable seated position, we will start to kind of lift away from the hips and lifting the heart a little taller. So we're not collapsing our weight down. We are holding this integrity in the spine, almost like we're being pulled through the crown of the head. And we'll start to deepen and soften the breath and extend the inhales and exhales a second or two longer. So deeply breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. And the slower, the better. Allow the shoulders to relax, the neck to find a little bit of length. Kind of sitting nice and tall with, dare I say, pride. Just proud for the time that we are about to share. Good, and when you're ready, we'll go ahead and we'll come into a twist. So the right hand will go over the left knee, the left hand will reach towards the back of the ground, and we'll start to rotate the chest and the shoulders. Maybe bringing the chin over to the left shoulder, stretching the neck. Then breathe in, twist a little bit deeper. And then exhale, we'll rotate to the other side. Left hand over the right knee, right hand reaches back. And then bringing the chin a little bit closer to the right shoulder. Very good. Come back to center. Hands on top of the knees. We'll go ahead, we'll lift the chin, bring the gaze up towards the ceiling. And then when you're ready to exhale, we'll go ahead, bring the chin to the chest, and we'll just kind of gently round the back. Reach the right hand towards the ground. We'll extend the left hand over to the left side and we'll come into a bit of a side bend, reaching the left hand towards the ceiling. Maybe you gaze up at the fingertips. Good, and then we'll lower the left hand down. Lift the chin up, opening the throat, breathing in. Exhale, chin to chest. Good. Extend the right fingertips away and up towards the ceiling, opening up through that right side of the body, gazing up at the fingertips. And then exhale, lower the right hand down, and we'll come into a child's pose. So reach the hands forward, chin to chest, keeping the knees together if that feels comfortable. Taking a moment to just get a little heavy, create some stillness. Focus on your inhales and exhales. On the sounds. Good, and then when you're ready, we'll lift the hips and we'll come into a tabletop. So the hands are right under the shoulders. The knees are hip width apart, and we'll open up the toes. And we'll do a few rounds of cat and cow. And when we're doing these arches and hollowing of the spine and of the back, let's be really mindful of the weight that we put onto our wrist. So we're keeping most of our weight into our core, but we have a balance between the weight in our lower body and our upper body also. So with a neutral back or a flat back, we'll start with an arched back. So go ahead, drop the belly, and then lift the chin, and then maybe look up. Breathe in through the nose. And then we come into that cat pose where we hollow the back, we round the spine, chin to chest, let the head hang loose. We'll do 2 more rounds. Inhale, we move in reverse and we arch. We stay light on the hands. And then exhale, we tuck the hips, we hollow the back. Really kind of exaggerate these poses. And 1 more round. Inhale to arch. And exhale to hollow. Engaging into the tops of the feet and the fingertips. Good. Finding that neutral back again. We'll go ahead and we'll extend the right foot towards the back of the yoga mat. Just think of squeezing your knee. Engage into that left foot. And then maybe we'll go ahead and we'll lift our back foot off of the ground. Just kind of think of extending your toes away from your shoulders. Good. We'll bend the right knee, lifting the right foot towards the ceiling, arching the foot, flexing, pointing, flexing, pointing. And then we'll extend back to a straight leg. Think of keeping your belly nice and engaged. And then we'll lower the right knee back down. Good. Let's open the knees nice and wide. We'll thread the needle. Bring your right hand underneath your heart. And then we'll lift the left hand off of the ground. Open and extend the chest. And then we'll thread the needle. So the left hand goes under the right wrist. Left shoulder reaches the ground. Left ear touches the ground. We'll hold here for a breath. Good, and then press into your right hand. Lift the left hand away from the yoga mat again. Open the chest. And then thread the needle again on your exhale. Slow and controlled, moving with the breath. Hold. And then press away and lift. Really kind of connecting a straight line from our left hand to our right hand. And then we'll come back to tabletop. Left hand lowers down. We'll switch sides. The right hand will slowly lift up towards the ceiling. And exhale, thread the needle on the opposite side. Right shoulder this time comes to the ground nice and slowly. Breathe in and out. Letting it go, focusing again on the breath. So important, keeping that focus throughout your practice. Inhale, we'll lift up. And then exhale, thread the needle. By all means, if you have monkey mind and your thoughts start to race, that's okay too. But if you can, bring your mind back to something you can focus on. Good, and we'll inhale to open one more time. Right hand reaches up. And then exhale back to that tabletop position. Good. Go ahead and claw your fingertips into your yoga mat. And then we'll extend the left foot towards the back of the mat now. Squeezing your kneecap, squeezing your left thigh, kind of engaging that left leg. Pressing your right foot into your yoga mat. Good. And if you'd like, if you lifted your foot on the opposite side, do it on this side. Very good. And then we'll bend that left knee, flex the left toes, and point, and flex, and point. And one more time for the fun of it, flex, and point, extend, and lower. Left knee down. Very good. We'll come into a puppy pose. So keeping the lower body as it is, so the knees are hip width apart. The hips will stay right on top of the knees, but we'll go ahead and extend the hands forward towards the top of our mat and rest the forehead on the ground, but the elbows will stay lifted. And if you feel the low back starting to arch and collapse, keep that belly tucked in and tucking the tailbone in so the low back stays supported. Breathe into the tailbone. Into the back body. Very good. And then we'll drop the elbows now onto the yoga mat and we'll kind of peel the shoulders forward and then drop the hips onto the ground and then adjust the elbows so they're right underneath the shoulder. We'll come into Sphinx pose. I really like this one because it's a gentle stretch for your low back. But while you're in this kind of a restful pose, we'll stay nice and engaged by pointing the toes. And if you can, maybe you can lift your knees off of the yoga mat by squeezing. And we'll lift the chin, breathe in through the nose. And then exhale, we'll relax the knees and then bring the chin to the chest. And again, we'll inhale, lift your gaze, lift your chin, lift your knees. And exhale, relax the knees, chin to chest. Very good. Go ahead, drop your chest down. Slide your hands to your ribs. Curl your toes so they're tucked. And we'll press back into our tabletop position. Working your way back. Let's go ahead, let's stretch the feet real quick. So let's just bring the hips towards the heels. I'm a big fan of this stretch. It's kind of like a funky child's pose. Just pressing the hands into the mat, into the ground. Feels nice if you walk a lot or if you're just on your feet often, to kind of give your toes and your feet some love, so that way they are just nice and healthy. If you don't use it, you lose it, right? So we're gonna make sure that we're just prioritizing our toes too. And then when you're ready, kind of work your way back to a tabletop. And we'll stretch the wrist real quick. So we'll flip the left hand down, back of the hand. It's on the yoga mat or the ground. Maybe you open and close your wrist, your hand, like you're squeezing a lemon. Without locking the elbow, of course. And then we'll switch sides. So we'll flip the left hand and then the right. And again, just being mindful of the weight that you're putting on your wrist, or just the way that you're leaning your weight. Again, being your own creative expert. You know yourself best. How much pressure and how little. Open and close, and then go ahead, flip your right wrist. Let's go ahead and cross the ankles, and we'll come into an easy pose towards the back of our yoga mat again. We'll rest the hands on top of the knees. Same way as we started, we'll be light on the hips. We're kind of lifting through the upper body, but from the tailbone up. Kind of incorporate our breath again, so just deep, high quality breaths in and out the nose. Allowing the shoulders to relax. Let's do a nice gentle neck stretch real quick. So we'll lower the right ear down to the right shoulder. And on an exhale, we'll bring the chin to the chest without moving the shoulders. And then when you're ready, inhale, lift the left ear to the left shoulder. Exhale, chin to chest. One more time on both sides. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Bring the head to a neutral. We'll bring the hands to the heart, Anjali Mudra. And we'll prepare for our final inhale of today's practice. The last one, I always like to make it a little bit longer, a little bit deeper, maybe even a little bit louder. Really kind of seal in today's practice. We'll bring the thumbs to our third eye, to the center of our forehead. We'll take our final inhale. And with a gentle exhale, we'll close our practice. Rest your hands in a position that feels good. On the knees, on the lap, on the ground, on the head, wherever. And I encourage you, before going out or doing whatever it is that you'll do next, just find some extra breaths or time to just pause without feeling rushed. But I appreciate and I'm very grateful for everyone that practiced with me today in this short flow. I think I went over a little bit than I anticipated, but I think a little bit of time, even if it's an extra minute or two, that's towards your well-being, is time that is not wasted, right? It is. With good meaning and good purpose and with good intentions. So ideally, I will try to upload to this channel a couple times a week. I have a plan of doing that 3 times a week. So I hope to see you guys soon. I hope the rest of your day treats you well. Again, happy Earth Day. And